Hey, you will make it TV followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners across the globe. Thank you for tuning in to another live segment here with the You Will Make It TV YouTube channel family, where we share inspirational quotes, divine messages, and insightful topics weekly. We appreciate your support and stopping back by to tune in to what it is pertaining and surrounding inspirational uh, topics and also insightful topics. Happy new week of December 9th. I'm sorry, December 8th to everybody out there. Today's date marks 12/9/2025. Please remember to like as many of our videos. The like button goes a long way, as well as the subscribe. I might not speak on it a lot, but we do see you guys trying to put that support in, and that's all that counts. I try not to so much focus on how many subscribers a day we get or anything like that. I want to more give my support from a more background stance where we are accepting donations for others or ramping up other projects that others could get involved, right? They don't have to ever meet me at all. That's the great thing about the opportunities that online technological devices offer us, whether it's poetry contests, webinars, adult spelling bees, adult talent shows. You never know what we might be out, especially in the new year, right? Doing to give back to our community. Uh, YouTube is just one platform. Crown Publishing content presence has been known on, but we do thank you for your support since we've been a part of the YouTube family. And today, this morning, I decided I would come on here early this morning at the peak of the sunrise and join the trending conscious communities that have been researching CERN and researching the experiments that surround CERN, CERN. And it's crazy. You would have think that all the research I've been doing lately, because we know I'm the type of person that kind of tries to look for logical, spiritual, all kind of different levels of knowledge to make things make sense to me. That's just the kind of person I am. So it's no wonder I might have begun to grow in the artistry and industry of both poetry and authorship. Okay, uh, because research is one thing, but some people actually like to do journals or documentations of essays and stuff on what they learned. So I do enjoy my research. Thank you for the slight pause break. I'll be right back, guys. So yeah, this is kind of just like my reaction and commentary, my opinions about uh, what, as far as what I've learned about CERN research and CERN experiments this far. Because my question so far, let's say I've been 48 hours in binge watching documentaries about CERN, right? For those of you nerds and geeks and those that's been keeping up with that, that's probably a funny joke. But it's just amazing, like all the questions I have now that I've actually like look more into it and what people say the risks are that surround it. Um, so what I ask myself is this: if even if it's kind of rare that there are big projects going on in some part of the world when it comes to science and research, that it's rare that people don't find out about it unless it's like classified or And even those areas that be like classified or no entry or there are areas like that. I heard Area 51 like that. Maybe certain areas you can't just walk up over there and walk in there talking about I want to see what's going on. You will get stopped at some point at one of those gates. You can't just go to areas anywhere where research might be being conducted and just think you're gonna go in there to find out what you want to. Some places you have to have clearance, is all I was trying to say. Uh, so it's rare that people might get to go in and see for themselves, depending on what it is. But it's very rare. People just don't know about it, or people don't have their own suspicions. They did that about that Area 51 area. Like, it don't matter if you kept people out of there and said this is special top secret. They still had their own theories and conspiracies and clues and stuff they put together that, so they could sit around and talk about it. Why? Because any place that's like top secret, people have always just wondered, like, why? Sorry, because maybe that's just the way of the world. Like, some places get top security, secret privacy, and some don't. But I'm gonna talk about why that matters to me and what might be going on with CERN. Like, if you're saying there's a possibility that the way how the speed of these protons and everything they're doing could sit here and have realities, you know what I'm saying? Kind of what do they say about it? Like, it's affecting people's I believe it too. They say it has the potential to do this. Is everybody admitting that it's doing this already? No, they're not. Others say that uh this thing, this power, this big, huge powered up machine can also control the weather. But who knows? They say they be using it to control the weather, man. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much info packed in one research like this or whatever. But I'm not done researching, of course. I want to keep up with everything they do with CERN now if I can, as much as I can, right? But some people, they go all in, like when they care about certain planets or certain things according to astronomy in the universe and that type of research. It's funny how people get really deep in sometimes. They do. It gets almost addictive. Like, you want to learn more and more and more and more about the cycles of the universe. Uh, so, anyways, they said that it's a chance that this thing might have the power to shift realities if it hasn't already happened. But in my opinion, it has. You can tell, like, even before I knew about CERN projects and all of this, it just seemed like that should be the way of the world. Everybody living their own different realities. But when I learned that they were doing these things that and some of the sparks of light get stuck in the dark matter and all that, that's where I was like, wait. I might not know too much about science, but this sounds like a bit too much. Um, they even said it might have the potential to, you know what I'm saying, lead people to other portals and all of this. And for a long time, even when I heard people talk about CERN, I just wasn't one of those people out here that I wouldn't say I didn't care. I just can't believe I've waited all these years to go look into it for myself, especially the type of stuff like I already be interested in pertaining to parallel dimensions and what else was they talking about? Different timelines and time travel. And I said, OMG, I knew it. I felt like that's why technology, too much of it can be dangerous. I'm not the first one to say it, but just imagine though, people try. I'm not accusing the CERN workers of this. I said take a second to imagine. Imagine people find out a way that they feel like they can go peep into the future. And I'm not talking about fortune tellers and nothing like that. With these science projects, they say if you can shift and bend realities and you're finding out that that's even possible, Why wouldn't that be possible? That, they've always said time travelers and timeline. I know that much. They've always said that exists, what they call time machines. I've never seen one. I used to think that movie Back to the Future and any movies like that was cool, but now we're actually in 2025, and real projects are happening in the world every day while we're just carrying on with our lives. Remember back in the summer, people didn't know what's going on, but they were sharing their stories. Like, you got masses of people across the globe was like, hey, our sleep schedule's been off. And when people were telling their stories on TikTok, I was like, I thought I was the only one. But with me, it's kind of normal. You have a new baby in between the past 5 years because people think the babies just sleep through the night once they leave infant stage, but that's actually not true. It might still take them time to get adjusted to sleeping through the night, even if they're a toddler, whatever, whatever. So I was like, no, that's probably just some more conspiracy. I mean, I feel like my sleep schedule's been off, but I didn't think it was that deep. Like, something with the universe is going on. I'm honestly telling the truth here. But now, I do have an open mind to theories and stuff, though. So when I seen other people were saying, and I mean all across the world, they just felt like they was having sleep pattern issues. People still feel like they going through that. And you mean to tell me it's been a big machine out here playing with realities the whole time? Anyways, it's never late than never. It's a great research or great insightful topic to kind of spark anybody's interest if they've never. You might got young people out here that ain't never heard of it. I'm one of them. And just a little bit of research, and I was like, what? And this machine been here and people been around here saying they've been losing sleep. I'm putting, I don't have to like study something too long. I started putting my own, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you call it? Puzzle pieces together about what I think is going on out here, and I like to put it together and come do topics about it. But, and I might not always say things the way that I really feel them. That's the tricky part about getting reactions on open platforms, but because censorship and all that kind of stuff is real too. Like, maybe they don't want us out here talking about what the scientists got going on. Too damn bad. Most of society has been made through math and science by now. Math and science have always been a big deal. Now, just because you take the science projects and make them more top secret, of course it's going to be exposed if your experiments in any way, shape, or form are actually beginning to affect people's lives, or what do we call it? Their lives or their realities. You don't have a reality, do you? If you're dead, maybe you do still have a reality to live out, even though you're dead, especially if people can just call on the dead and work with the dead and still even see the dead, even though we're in another dimension right now. If you still see ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, people said that that right there should be enough proof to prove to people that there are other dimensions and that somehow they collide. And now I'm wondering a lot, like, is this true naturally, or did this CERN machine make this possible? Maybe we're not even supposed to see these other entities. I mean, we could talk about the third eye and all that all day long. And these super 3D glasses they're supposed to have, that they say they got some glasses now you can buy that. Let me not speak on that. I know I seen that somewhere. They got glasses now, special lenses you can look through that's supposed to allow you to be able to see ghosts. It made me think of the movie The 13th Ghost, right? When I saw that they had came up with that. All right, so this was my main question because I ain't fully got it out yet. Good morning to the world. Good morning to any new listeners that might be kind of strolling in into the live this morning. We're just kind of talking about my reaction to, because see, I heard it got shut down for 3 years, the whole CERN project, and then they just kind of revamped back up whatever they've been doing over there. And people always talking about how powerful that is, this CERN machine, and everything they can do with it. People should think about why did they even have to create that? Talking about they trying to learn more about the you know, they want more realistic theories that make sense about when it comes to matter and what it can do when it's in protons, when they smash into an atom and stuff like this. Like if you have to sit here and recreate something, I guess you could look at it as a simulation, but it's not a simulation. Maybe I'm speaking up on the truth intuitively. See how it come out of me? Like I don't even be trying to do that. But what I was trying to say is like, what's the purpose of creating something like that? It's scary to know that people think they can go jump 10,000 years forward and go play with the future and steal stuff from the future and bring it back to the present and then manipulate your past, right? How many people do you got doing this? Wait a minute, this is not a movie anymore. I went and researched that these CERN projects are very real. I don't know, but it's a little price, probably too late for me to say. I wouldn't be the only one. Many people been standing up saying, "Hey, stop those projects." And if it ain't the CERN thing you hearing about, if you knew like me and you're learning about what's really out here, I don't know why I curse so much now though, because I understand how scientific experiments. I don't mean to sound like a crazy Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of deal, but I understand how experiments have helped shape and get us into the world we are today. And then at the same time, a lot of people feel manipulated and they feel like they still did not get the better deal. All the advancements y'all say that are here on Earth, where's the better deal at? Talking about advancement this, advancement that, convenience this, convenience that. And you still got people. I mean, some people are still arguing over Medicare and food stamps. We got bigger problems, dude. They say this machine here, I don't know, like it can be dangerous because it starts to shift realities or something like this. And I feel like that's very real, especially if you got a whole bunch of people say the same thing in the past year, 6 months to a year, especially when those sightings were being seen and stuff. It seemed like more frequent UFO sightings if they were those. I don't like to jump to conclusions. But most of those footages that were circulating, they look like UFOs. If you ask me, what else? Just because it's an object you ain't never seen before, why do people think it's. Well, when you look at some of these footages, I see why they think they're UFOs. Like they look like way more advanced. And then that's what's crazy. So y'all been playing with CERN, but it's UFOs here. Who are you gonna blame that on? That's supposed to be one person, a group of people's fault. If anything, let me not go there because with these science projects, are our taxpayer dollars going to that? Where do they get all these money to do all this stuff at now? So I have so many questions. Because if you're using our tax money to do that, we should have a right to say, I mean, look how long we've been quiet. There might be some people out here with real theories. It seemed like back in the day, people could just, it was more welcomed, okay? I'm not saying that it's not still, but that's why I can't really say too much, right? You can still publish journals and essays and articles when you find your own specific theories about things that's going on here. And I think it's about time I take it to that level. But really, I know you're not supposed to say that if you're really serious, but you have a right. All these published entries, diaries, journals, essays, and stuff in the past is how would help us to advance the research over the years. So I do see how it's significant. If you feel like you have a theory about something, say something. It's not just about crime or when you see things wrong. Shouldn't you also speak up if you feel like people manipulating timelines is wrong as hell? Well, let's talk about why, especially if you're using it for negative purposes that the innocent people in this dimension have no idea what's going on. and, and it's just sparks backfiring. Everybody seemed different. more low vibrational, because that's another thing about this CERN thing. It's supposed to be known to like what conjure up low vibrational energy. It's a part of what it needs. Everything I was reading about it already seems sinister though. What inspired this topic? Me seeing some kind of they were showing some clips of this I guess ceremony or something they was having to, let's say you having a grand opening or you're reopening after a period of being shut down, just like their CERN machine was. But I know I'm jumping all over with my topic. I'm just trying to uh, get it out. But yeah, don't that seem to make sense? Put the connections together. You're sitting here playing with a machine that's playing with timelines, and then you're wondering why, how unidentified objects are like, what? How did they get over here? Why is everybody playing stupid? If you're opening portals of where they are minding their business, just because you want to see the future, just because you want to understand some form of technology or some element, it's just weird. I was also um, studying the back of the dollar again. I've been doing it for quite some time, but then I get busy or distracted in life because I feel like I was always divinely led to more. When I say study the back of the dollar, I mean one specific area, and that's the pyramid with the eye. Because if you really look at it, the pyramid is a pyramid shape, but like at the top of it, it seems to disconnect just a little bit, like a little tiny small triangle. I know people get bored about small details sometimes when you bring them up, but uh, they claim the devil lives in details, or some of the most hidden stuff. Sometimes it's like actually wasn't hidden. It was hidden in plain sight, like right up under your nose or right around you. Okay, so that's how I feel when I look at the pyramid on the back of the dollar. I noticed that, like, why does the little tip of the triangle disconnect slightly? But I did a little more research about that too. Um, Under the original establishment treaty and order of the United States, that's had a lot to do with like a logo of symbolism. Yes, theories claim that it's all about the Illuminati and all that, but there's a lot of people that still try to debunk that, you know what I'm saying, that opinion about why the back of the dollar looks like it does from every detail about it. So they said they just wanted to give the imagery of ever everlasting society being built. Like we're never done being built. Anytime we need a transition, evolution, moderation. You know, the symbolism of the kind of broken pyramid shows that. Like, hey, you can be building up towards something, but it's never fully complete. What do you guys think about that? Leave your opinions in the chat. That's not one of my original quotes. This is something that's been said about the symbolism of the pyramid on the back of the dollar. It's one theory. Maybe that is a good way to keep an open mind about life. Like, look, I can be building and working on a pyramid just like the people back in the day, but uh, the United States symbol, though, more meant like, no, it just kind of shows the honor of strength, like we're never not done building. And it could be a bad thing because how will you ever complete something if you don't even have a goal to, right? You're just saying we want to get stronger, we want to get more powerful, we want to be all knowledgeable, but we'll never be all. So it's not really a bad perception, but then again, it's crazy. You've been sitting here wondering why more people are choosing things they never chose before, why they're having dreams they never had before, why they sleep patterns off, why their appetites are changing. Some even thought well, most people did think it's spiritual if stuff like that is happening in your life. Suddenly your money's off balance. This is how connected we are to the universe and the solar system and Earth itself. Why wouldn't we think Earth has any connection with the dollar bill? That's stupid. Didn't the paper come from the trees? I think we should slow down just a second with certain experiments, and if they haven't already, which most people say they don't plan to, especially with their CERN project. Now you can't turn around, and I just feel like anytime that's been running, and I could be wrong, I think I heard something significant about the year of 2012, right? Like there's some people that believe 2012 was really 2020. But I don't even want to talk about that yet. If you know that there's substantial evidence of you being out here doing projects that could potentially manipulate uh, dimensions, timelines, realities. I'm not saying you shouldn't still hold people accountable for what they do, but how does that work? How does that work? A person is way more powerful than you if they can sit here and run energy tests on a machine called CERN anytime they get ready. And you would just think random coincidental stuff been happening around you. Like some people even say the days seem shorter. I, in my opinion, they seem shorter too. That's another thing about those CERN projects. You guys have to look into it yourself. I just wanted to come and give my own reaction. I'm one of those firm believers now, just in my 48 hours of binge watching documentaries about it. I'm very convinced that this machine has definitely played a big part in uh, a lot of the psychological, straight up, yep, Arthur Tedashiri said it. I believe that machine, now that I've been researching more about it, has a lot to do with people, the psychological changes we've seen in people. Am I blaming mental health on science projects? Yes, I guess I am. Not everybody is just born or have mental health through bloodline issues, hereditary reasons. What's crazy is other things that can be passed down through your DNA that you wouldn't even believe. Not just eye color, hair color, skin color, toe shape, ear shape. It's things that can be passed down, and maybe scientists know this already. Because how do you explain somebody who experienced sleep paralysis their whole life, as long as they can remember, right? And then a son or daughter is born and they going through the same thing. For those that call most religious people, or you mock religious people and call them freaks, uh, you call them conspiracy freaks and stuff like this. No, it's a whole reason that people be willing to go deeper into research about stuff, because it's either one or the other. So you mean to tell me mental health traits can be passed down, but other traits like maybe psychic abilities or just things you wouldn't even think of lays right there in your DNA. Yeah, traits, other codes. If you want people to believe all these other sicknesses and illnesses and impairments and disabilities can be inherited, okay, well, it got to be deeper than that. That's all I'm gonna say for now. There can be other abilities that are passed down through people that are in a more positive light. Why nobody ever want to talk about that? They'll bring up the negative stuff like, oh yeah, she snores like her dad, or he steals like his mom. What you gonna say? That type of behavior is hereditary too? It's weird. So I said what I said. I feel like a lot of things surrounding science most definitely affected people psychologically, and it's continuing to. You can just see that. Let's say nobody ever walked up to me and told me this. Like, hey, Teddy Sherry, there's experiments in the world that's been affecting people's sleep, people's moods, people's behaviors. And these devices, these cell phone devices and stuff, for example, is one example. It could be an experiment in itself. Most places you go around, people head is down in a phone if you pay attention. Even if they out in public, they be out at the park, sitting on the bench, but they're still looking down at their phone or their laptop or their tablet. I'm only bringing it up because why, when stuff is like that, like you got a lot of people hooked on to something, that's dangerous anyway. From sugar to crab legs to maybe a certain fashion brand to maybe a certain artist or celebrity. That's a lot of power to have people connected to or hanging on to. Like, how can I describe what I'm trying to say? Um, yeah, anything you can connect people to like that, where they feel like they're damn near addicted. Anything you create like that, how is that not dangerous? So no, we're not just talking about drugs or some food or some fashion brand. Like, this what I mean. It used to be rare, right? Like, to, how can I say this? Like, it used to be rare, or we thought things were so rare for it to happen to you. But in this new reality that people is tapping into because of advanced technology, people are realizing they are creators themselves. To me, it's only having some type of clash, because if you build a society surrounding or with the intent for everybody to depend on its influence, on its how it's built, why wouldn't there be a clash? More people are tapping into a new reality. You mean to tell me it might have something to do with this CERN experiment? That's crazy, bro. And so how would you hold anybody accountable for what they're doing while whole protons and neurons and certain things is going off as almost as the speed of light in some machine in Switzerland, but you're being penalized for any parts of it that affects you? What if I'm one of those people? Straight up, I'm asking a question. How can you promise me that CERN has not affected me or my children or my dog or cats or my neighbors? How can you really assure me that CERN is 100% and everything you do there is 100% safe? Not just for me and people I know. Let's say for me and my kind, and I'm not trying to sound like some alien or something, but when I say my kind, let's start here. Don't they say that empath is the opposite of narcissist? Let's say for empaths, is this project safe for people who are already highly sensitive? Highly sensitive is also a vibration, y'all. Highly sensitive is also a frequency. You notice how society teaches us that being highly sensitive, whether you're a man or a woman, is wrong? But you saw the title of this segment. It said, "Let's talk science." I think even that is has to do with some type of chemical or not just imbalances, but chemical balances in our brains, whether you're an empath or a narcissist. But people say that's shaped by like what you see, what you're surrounded by, your environment, who you raised by. When the whole time others believe that narcissism is genetic too. You could have gave your kid a good life and they still turn out a narcissist. Like, what do you mean? Some say these are just traits. Others have more severe traits. And that's why I think it all goes back to some kind of psychological, uh, scientific influence. We might as well break these topics out because it's very real. What if these projects y'all been doing for ages have just been evolving people? And the people that you see now, they're the result. The people that you see in the future, they're the result. Even if those people look like quote unquote bald headed aliens, this is what you're doing to yourself. You're releasing mass loads of radiation, mass loads of chemical, mass loads of extra energy into the air, and then it might be low vibrational energy. But back to what I was saying, Highly sensitive is a frequency. Highly sensitive is a vibration. Highly sensitive in itself is an energy. But I don't think they knew that, or they didn't stop to think about it. It got to be something that they found of great interest when it comes to highly sensitive vibrations, energy, and frequencies. The term highly sensitive wouldn't exist if it wasn't real, right? So maybe that in itself, highly sensitive, anything, particle, atom, matter, dark matter, space. I didn't even get to talking about that part yet. Like how that can't be safe either. Just sitting up here playing with dark matter. And they tell you in science, dark matter is very real. What they call the black holes out there in the universe, they're real too. Those are not just terms. And when people get stuck in those black holes, all we know is we don't ever see them again. That's what research has shown. Like people have gone to certain territories or areas, even in the ocean, even out in space. They was just out there trying to be an astronaut. If you get stuck in one of those black holes, though, nobody will ever see you again. But that don't mean that person died. They probably just slipped off into another dimension. So isn't life cool? Like to learn that the whole time you're living in one existence or reality, you might be somewhere else living one too. And I bring this up because to me, this is where they got the concept of, or idea, or imagination of cloning. Okay. Maybe they told themselves, well, if there's different versions of us in different realities, I thought it was just called growth, right? There's the natural stages of life. You grow naturally. What do you mean, different realities, right? But it wouldn't make sense if you look at it logically. You have to look at it like it's described. If there's different versions of you in different realities, why not believe that you're not the same person at 30 that you were at 17? That's proof of it right there. That parallel realities and timelines exist. It's just that when you get that type of knowledge and power to people and just say, yeah, go experiment with this, see what all we can do with the future. How about start with the present and the things that need attention in the present? The reason the present got abandoned, this is so scary to look at. It's almost like the present, which, if you think about it, the present is a present, but people are literally neglecting the present just to speed to the future. It's crazy. Like, I've never seen a time like this. We're not talking about kids who sit around and say all day, I can't wait till I'm grown. That's normal. No, we're talking like people are really trying to escape to me, in my opinion, the accountability and the reality of the present. To me, if you can sit here and manipulate the present, I never thought about this before, but there has to be a reason for that. Like, you have to put it in words that people can understand. Why are you trying to manipulate the present to get your outcome in the future when you've already went there? You got technology. They literally have technology that can help them see your future. You already had spirit. That's what pisses me off. Like, we appreciate advancements, but how you gonna try to like merge something as highly sensitive, right? Remember me talking about highly sensitive being a vibration, a frequency, uh, a energy in itself. So you're gonna take something as highly sensitive as spirituality. Let me get this right, and merge it with technology. Um, it just doesn't sound good. That's like saying you're gonna make a robot. You're gonna create a robot, but you're gonna create it religious. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna mix the robot with spirituality and computer. It just sounds dangerous. If God wanted to people to think he was some supercomputer, he would have said that. Uh, Notice how even the Ten Commandments was described to be written on what we call today a tablet. But we cannot deny that the Bible, those old scrolls and scripts, when translated in English terms, they're described as tablets with the Ten Commandments, and there were more commandments as that if you really do your research. But still, uh, I just noticed that for now, like it's described as a tablet, and now we have these handheld devices that we call tablets that you can literally type notepads on it, read books on it. To me, they're just trying to recreate everything in a way that they can control it. And as long as I live in this reality, that'll be scary to me. You're trying to recreate everything that was already here in this reality with a computer so you can control what they call nature. You can control what they said was natural. Now you got a computer and doctors, and you're telling people, oh, whatever you want to be, we'll turn you into that. Like, bro, this was not reality just 20 years ago. See, they make you go research. When was this machine CERN built again? When was their first test run on this machine? I saw clips where in the area where they would run that machine, birds was falling out the air. How y'all know that machine is also not connected in some way to like Wi-Fi, data, things we use at our leisure every day? Like it is a substance. It is a form of matter that's coming from somewhere. It's a form of energy. Every time, like I'm using the Wi-Fi right now to do this stream, that's what I'm talking about. I'm using data to do this stream. It's pulling, I'm sure that's pulling every time one of us use our phones. That is scary to think about. Every time we use some technological device, it got to be pulling energy from somewhere, and we think it's just pulling energy from towers, from cell phone towers, wireless towers. Nobody stopped to ask, hey, how does Bluetooth work? How is this able to do this? This other headpiece is able to connect to this device, or this uh, microphone is Bluetooth. It can connect to my laptop. We just think, oh, it's just a connector. It's nothing. The whole time, maybe I just see this a little different right now, but all of this stuff, electricity too, it's like we gave light back to ourselves because we are the original light. There's no such thing as the invention of light when the sun has been up there for ages. But as long as you can manipulate, and it's like they even try to break us down a little bit because, if you cut food stamps off or certain stuff that actually help to lower the vibrations of people because they're stressed, because they're hungry, because they're weak, because they're scared if they're going to be able to pay their mortgage or their rent next month. That's a lot of low vibrational energy to be pulling away from big groups of people at a time. Just tell the masses the truth. Do these mass events and stupid coincidental uh, incidents happen because somebody somewhere needs to pull a whole lot of negative energy? They admitted at CERN that it releases low vibrational energy. They've already admitted that about that project in Switzerland. That's all I needed to hear. You have been wondering why people seem more violent, more off-puttish, more standoffish. And it seemed like people wanted to blame it on everything else. The vaccines, the laws changing, the economy, and people's money, who the president is. The whole time while everybody arguing about why they think the world is changing, there's a machine over there running, manipulating energies and timelines and frequencies just so some people can. Some about they want to try to travel all the way to the beginning just to see how everything was made. Tell me that don't sound crazy, y'all. You want to try to time travel. It's one thing to time travel to the 1800s, the 1700s. Hell, maybe you want to go back to the Bible days. But you mean to tell me you trying to do an experiment where you can go back to the beginning of time? That's what I think they trying to do. You're trying to go back and see what happened in the past. They said they trying to see like how the dinosaurs died, a lot of stuff. They just want to go back. Others, some say that's cool. They're like, that's cool that they're building that and that they're doing those kind of experiments. Really, God made himself very clear. If he said, I ban people out of this Garden of Eden, nobody else can come into this Garden of Eden. If he said, I'm going to chain up demons in a certain area of the earth, you see, you out here trying to live and have goals and build a future for yourself, but there's people out here trying to release demons that have been locked up in Euphrates. Y'all can think I'm crazy. It's really scientists out here trying to find a way right now. While you getting up for your regular job every day, taking the kids to school, there are people trying to figure out how to open portals to release demons that were chained up for a reason. Just think about that for a second. In the name of science, in the name of research, just to be able to make $1 million saying that they did it, it sounds stupid. And I don't mean to be funny. They talk about these underground bunkers that might exist, and people get underground bunkers made in case a disaster happens, so they have somewhere to go stay. But to me, it's the same people that's doing these experiments that make sure they got a bunker for their family to run to if catastrophe happens. It's very ironic. All I could say out loud in my real, raw, authentic reaction to that is, why would you think you're gonna release big king demons that the ancient text said were bound in certain areas of the earth for a reason? Like, why would you go do that? And then think you're gonna go stay underground and be safe while everybody else is being shredded to pieces because of something you unleashed. What are they gonna apologize later? Well, we thought this was safe. I think they already know something coming. What's the best way you keep people calm? Act like absolutely nothing is happening. Just act like everything is normal. That's how you keep people calm. Nobody wants to hear the truth, but it's true. It don't take but one person. If you watch movies or in real life, if one person starts screaming and running a direction where there's a lot of people, everybody gonna start running. Have you ever noticed that? If somebody panic and say, "Oh my God, a spider!" everybody around that person gonna jump up out their chair, and they didn't even feel anything. They didn't even see anything. That I'm bringing it up because if people needed an example of how real the energy of fear is, FEAR, how real it is, because how are you going to believe that it's contagious or that it spreads or that it's even dangerous? The energy of fear, it's not dangerous when it's something you need to fear, but that's an example of that. You see somebody running, talking about help, or somebody running, and they just like run, everybody run. You don't even have to know why they saying run. I bet you're gonna take off running. Everybody in that group gonna take off running. I've had a few dreams. I might as well speak on it. That's exactly that's exactly how it went. Like who I've already seen the hearts of people at their highest level of fear. We're not talking about war or Like I've seen people in a light at the highest level of fear. Let's say comets are falling out the air, just something that's way out of the manpower control of humans. That type of fear. When humans are faced with things that are just bigger than them, like you don't have one weapon that can combat it. But that's the thing. Humans are trying to get to a place where they have super weapons to fight anything. Ghosts, aliens, super. I don't know why. They just want to have supercomputers and super robots and super things that can help fight things. Now, who would work that hard to have super weapons, bro? Unless they knew that something super is coming. That's what's. It's, I'm just giving my opinions. Things for us to think about. Because in the dreams I had, in a state of fear, people are scary. I know that sounds crazy what I just said. Yeah, in a state of fear, they're mentally gone. They cannot think for themselves no more. Okay? In my dreams, people were not stopping to think. Like it's a lot of cars on the road. If everybody speed and just suddenly hit the gas to 60 miles per hour on a regular road, yeah, everybody's gonna wreck because we all see some in our rearview mirror, right? If you got 100 cars on the road and 3 lanes going both ways, and everybody look out their rearview mirror and see Godzilla behind them, it's gonna be just like the movie. Some are gonna get out their cars and say, "F it, I'm gonna take the chance to try to run." Because if it's 100 cars, how are you going to speed your car up, even if you see Godzilla in your rearview mirror and you driving? Really stop and take a second to think about this. People be like, I'm calm through certain stuff. I've had certain dreams about stuff. It wasn't even about the dreams. It's like if that certain thing is real and it's been letting off certain particles and stuff that's affecting people's dreams. This is interesting what I'm saying because well, I don't know what it let off and how it affected me, but I was able to see people in like the deepest state of fear and they're crazy. I was that one in a dream standing there trying to tell people, hey, be still. It's not going to help us to run. You could just tell if comets and asteroids are falling out the earth, how is it going to help you to run? You don't even know where the next one is going to land and fall and hit somebody. So that's what was happening in the dream. Every direction they ran, them things was falling, hitting fireballs. Um, So it wasn't, I was trying to tell them too, even in the moment of the most heightened danger, seeing human beings in the highest fear they could be in that moment, they was not listening. They were not listening. Like you were like, hey, stop running. Look how I'm just standing in one spot and ain't no fireballs hitting me. It was like these fireballs were alive. They had consciousnesses. It had conscious or something. Like it would hit specifically exactly where people thought they was finna run. So as like with any other intuitive divine message, you you interpret the dream as you like. How I interpret it is that I never want to be like that now. I don't want to wait till his fireballs falling out the air and wars and crazy stuff going on to know how to stay calm in the heightened state of fear. Does that mean that person being fake and they trying to hide their fear? No, because you've learned how to channel your fear in a way you can channel fear into whole power and not in a way of making people fear you. I'm talking about if you in a moment of fear, in one moment, I wouldn't say you could just make it go away, but you might be able to channel it and like use it. So in that moment in the dream, I'm like, I'm scared like all these other people. But I was just looking at the sky, watching it happen. And I noticed, had I not took a second to slow down and just look at the sky, I would have been running like a chicken with my head cut off like the people was in the dream. because you're not even trying to see what's happening. You just running. And if you got too many people running the same direction, trying, that's why people was getting ran over, cars was wrecking. That didn't have nothing to do with the asteroids. The cars was hitting each other because they all trying to drive fast at the same time. I'm not gonna give, or maybe it just make me wonder. They know that there's highly sensitive people on the globe. I know they're aware of this. When I say highly sensitive, it has nothing to do with your emotions. Does it affect your emotions? Definitely. The confirmation is real. But highly sensitive is more of an energy thing. Y'all put your own opinions in the chat, but this is just like clear as day to me. Highly sensitive, and I feel like I'm like that mentally, spiritually, physically, like a little ant. Y'all know how small an ant is. If an ant is crawling on me, I'm the type of person I'm gonna feel it. Y'all probably think that's crazy. That's how I know highly sensitive. That vibration is real. Like you just being like that naturally. Okay. But this is how I learned about it. So I'm trying to give y'all an example. Uh, First of all, I notice if it's a string of hair, just one string of hair on my body anywhere, just a straight hair, or pet hair, my hair, the next person's hair. If it's on my body, I'ma feel it, bro. They don't have to believe me. And I've been like this my whole life. A piece of cotton, like it be the most things I shouldn't even notice. I'm telling you, if an ant is crawling on me, I'ma feel it. But I'm an example of a highly sensitive person that they'll try to say you tripping, you didn't feel that. When I know if it's an ant, if it's a piece of hair, like I said, that have nothing to do with black magic, voodoo. I'm just like that. If it's something small on me, crawling on me, or just have this feeling like I'm a I'm a feel it. I'm at least like look at my arm or try to wipe it off like if it's a little ant or a mosquito, I'ma feel it. Mosquitoes, they have to sneak and bite me for real, cause like I'ma feel you before you even bite me type of deal. I don't know if any other of y'all can like testify to that, but like some people they don't even swat their arm till they feel it bite them. I have no reason to lie. My whole life before the but I'm not saying I ain't never had no mosquito bite or I ain't been bit by an ant. Cause sometimes I do get got, but it's more likely that I'm gonna feel it crawling. Are people paying attention to what I'm saying? I'm gonna feel whatever is on me before I even like, you know, if it's a piece of hair, you still might think it's a little bug or something. Like, so you just wiping your arm off or your leg, wherever you felt it. Wouldn't you say it's dangerous to not know a snake is finna bite you until it actually bites you? It's the same thing to me in life about things. So that's a good way to describe what a highly sensitive soul is, what a highly sensitive person is, what a highly sensitive frequency. I'm trying to describe it for people and how it's very real and how it has a lot to do with people who seek energy fields and forces and experiments. Highly sensitive souls and frequencies and energy patterns. I think there's something more to it that we all should pay attention to. Because why are you so sensitive? You know, Joker say, why so serious, right? I wouldn't say I'm serious, I'm sensitive. I'm too sensitive to play with everything or everybody, or maybe you was so busy playing with everybody, you didn't even recognize that about yourself. But I knew that much just about my physical body. If something is out of place, it is so weird. I'ma feel it. On the outside of my body, now let's talk about on the inside. On the outside, for sure. If something is crawling on me or a piece of hair is on my back, my neck, it doesn't matter. Like I'ma feel it, bro. So everybody's bath routines are different. I know some women, they do their hair and get in the shower. They do their hair routine before they take a shower. Some women like me, I have to be like this sometimes, or put a towel around my neck while I'm doing my hair because I'm that sensitive. If any string of their hair gets on my clothes, I'm telling y'all, you would think, why that girl scratching like that? The whole time I ain't got no rash, just a straight piece of hair in my shirt from earlier when I brushed my hair into a ponytail. You see, things be deeper than the surface. You just saw a person itching. Oh, that's another thing. I can go on and on about being sensitive physically, mentally. Once again, where does sensitive mean weak? Not just talking about me, anybody. If anything, a sensitive person is more dangerous, for real. Because where does sensitive mean weak? Let's say your eyes are sensitive. That might mean they're a little weak, right? You can still have strong vision with sensitive eyes. What that means is if a person chop an onion, two pieces of an onion around you, your eyes watered up. They ain't even cut the whole onion, but your eyes are already tearing up because you have sensitive eyes. Let me try to give some other examples. Like if you have sensitive ears, that don't mean you can't hear. You hear everything everybody else hear. You see what I'm saying? But sensitive ears mean if it's too loud, too up close to your ears, which that's most people, but a person with even sensitive ears, even more sensitive ears, they have to be careful or they might keep some earplugs around them. Not earbuds, earplugs to help cancel out the noise because they have sensitive ears. But how does that mean they can't hear, that they're weak? So but like I said, I just feel like we are naturally conditioned. A lot of times society will condition you that being a highly sensitive soul, highly sensitive vibration type person, that's great. Some people be like, you need high energy. That's the only way you can defeat the low energy vibrations. But okay, maybe you don't look to see where can I get higher frequency from because you're already highly sensitive to everything. You need them kind of people in the world. Somebody that can say, hey, you shouldn't go that way. They sensitive. They just feel something. Somebody say, don't eat that. It's just something about it. I feel like you think they crazy, but they sensitive as hell. They feel things that they don't even understand why. I think that's a little deeper than psychic. What if you just have a highly sensitive frequency about you? So now when they out here doing experiments, letting off Wi-Fi data, 5Gs, protons, molecules, and particles in the air, you feeling it too. Your sleep schedule been off. Like I said, when I heard other people talking about it on TikTok, I was like, oh, phew, I thought I was tripping. I thought, because to be honest, it was me and my kids going through that. Like, and I'm sitting here asking myself, didn't we used to go to sleep at night? Like, plus it's more to it. I think they didn't release something in the air. If people all over the world, it ain't like every person got the same story. Some people go to bed at the same time every night and they set their alarm and get up at the same time every morning. What we are saying is there have been a lot of viral stories though of people that say, does anybody else find this strange? I can't get no sleep, and then it's affecting their money because they have to go to work the next morning. This ain't never happened in the history of America. Last we checked, people just go to work when they need to go to work. We all know mentally and physically not getting sleep, like it's not even good for your health. It's not good for your health a little bit. You'll be surprised how I've actually, me personally, I'm a good candidate to speak on it. I've taken the time out several times in my life to do sleep study researches. Like I'm into that. Watching documentaries of them doing studies of making men stay up for 30 days. It's just an experiment. All of them wasn't able to make it. That's the point of the experiment. I think the one I watched, they were prisoners, but they had promised them if they participate in this experiment and they actually stay woke for 30 days. So that was a part of the experiment too. How far are people willing to go for their freedom? I look at things very deep. They also gave them a drug. That's why I'm asking again. Even if you signed up for the experiment, it just proves a man in bondage, a man in prison, or a woman. You bring an offer like that, like a scientific experiment to the table, they're gonna take it. Then you tell them they can get out if they finish. Why wouldn't they take that deal? So the purpose is, I guess, for to make the person feel as stuck as possible. I'm telling y'all what energy manipulation does. They want to make us feel like energy manipulation has no kind of psychological effects on people, but it does. Um, Dang, I lost track of what I was saying. It was getting good, but losing sleep is health wise can be detrimental. I'm one of those people that research sleep studies. I've also had moments like how my body is. I don't know. I've never been diagnosed with like blood pressure, blood sugar issues, nothing. But it's something about me resting. And it might go back to what I was saying with being highly sensitive. Maybe the more highly sensitive people need more rest. They feel so much every day that they just naturally feel. Anyways, they promised them they could get out of jail. And they had to take a drug called LSD. And LSD has been known to like cause hallucinations. You literally like 5 minutes after you popping it or putting it on your tongue or however you take it, they say this stuff, and then you be just hallucinating for days. I think they gave it to them every day. And they couldn't say no. You signed up for the experiment. So you had a drug to help you stay woke. That was a part of the experiment. But they still had to see how long can they stay woke. It's a movie about it, but it's a documentary about it. The movie, they just kind of like made it into a horror for entertainment. But in the movie, they start kind of spazzing out on each other, killing each other, not trusting each other, turning on each other. This is actually interesting, y'all. Listen to this. All because they were not getting sleep. At first, they was cool. They got to know each other. They like, oh, you here for the experiment? I'm here for the experiment too. It's like 20 of them, right? Just know by the one they did based off a true story. There's a movie. I forgot the name of it. Them people, all of them that was in that experiment ended up literally turning, when I say turning on each other, trying to eat each other, trying to just like be violent towards one another because they are delirious. Like they have been up for a whole week while on a drug. They have been up for a whole 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So as we see, before a lot of these drugs were, that's why I don't like people who don't understand drug addicts. I really don't. I wouldn't say I don't like them. I just don't like their perceptions. You do know they've done scientific experiments with these drugs on people before these drugs was even a drug problem on the streets. That's what's scary about it. So you mean to tell me y'all sat here and watch men try to stay woke for 30 days on a very hallucinative drug, a drug that take you on a crazy high. And you saw that they were killing each other at the end of the experiment and it's still drugs out here. People take that drug today. I'm telling you, manipulating realities and energies. Whoever, you do understand, the generation of today is like surviving this. We're surviving this whole transition, this new trend of you can just change your reality, just shapeshift, just say this, just say that. Like, uh, word manipulation is one thing, but like actually doing stuff around a person energy, to make them shift into the reality that you would like them in. I hope that we do see laws in the near future that help protect people from that, who actually have a strong enough mental capacity to choose their own realities, like we were just doing 10 and 20 years ago, like a lot of people thought they was doing in 2025. But how are you in control of your reality when you don't know why your sleep pattern's off? That quick, something has shifted in your energy, something has shifted in your reality. And people be wondering, how did a person uh like you could just be saying, that's strange about something, but somebody else could be on the side like, I didn't expect that person to notice that. But if they reality have been the same for the past 10 years, why wouldn't they notice when something is different around their energy or their reality? Period. I wouldn't care what scientific machine you say you're using on them. I bet computers will never outthink logic, basic, because it's the scripture that God said, he talks about this. Like he don't like people that are too proud, too arrogant, too prideful, too boastful. God doesn't like that for some reason. Like God understands what a king is, people with power, people of authority, but he's talking about like a state of mind, heart, body, and soul. It's not a good way to be, because like he humbles those kind. That's all it say. He said he make, what did the scripture say, y'all? Y'all know that scripture I'm talking about. Like he make he humbles the proud, or he humbles the wise through the foolish things. That's literally what that scripture say, y'all. I already believe in God personally. I fear God, and I don't want to like. I try to live by that principle. Like, do remember, God said He will humble the wise man with foolish things. So let's say you being wise and you think you should tell the person how to clean their house. God might humble you by a tornado come through and destroy your whole house. Now you humble. Because you just got through talking about a person who had a smaller house than you and how well they keep it clean. So that's what he mean by that scripture. Like, watch who you're being like that too. You feel me? Because he loves to humble the wise. He describes them as wise, W-I-S-E. Remember, we've talked about this on other quotes. The quote that says a wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. It's like God didn't say that. There was Socrates, a Greek philosopher, but God did say something similar to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the power to humble the wise, and I love to do it through foolish things. Uh, you could go look all over town for a new musician in your band, and the one with the dirtiest clothes on, you never gave them a chance to audition. Have y'all ever seen the cartoon movie Sing? So keep up with me. The whole time you done auditioned all these other people. They had on nice clothes, so you thought they had talent, and you need a drummer by tonight. So the one in the poor clothes says, "Hey, can I have a turn?" Right before they finna pack up and leave. These are the things God like to do. And the whole time, the one in the dirtiest, poorest clothes, with bugs crawling all over them because they've been sleeping outside, they end up playing the saxophone and sound better. It's the best sound a producer have heard in 30 years. But this person had poor clothes on. Yeah, God still work like that. It's a lot of hidden gems, diamonds, pieces of gold still out here today. Like raw talent that just haven't been discovered yet. But does that mean that person not talented? See, Beyonce started somewhere. I'm just using her for an example, but she knew what I'm saying. She knew she had talent before any record deal ever signed her. How did she know this? She got standing ovations. People clap every show she used to do to put herself out there. So because that's kind of the goal when you're trying to be known for your talent. You got to go to clubs. You got to go to parties. You got to go somewhere and sing so people know you can sing and dance. Now people gonna be talking about you. Now some producer might hear about you. Now they want to sign you. But I would say you would have to know that your quote unquote talent exists long before somebody you feel like can change your life. Bring, you know what I'm saying? How is they changing your life and it's your talent? You guys should ask yourselves that. Y'all be putting too much credit in these labels and producing companies and everything. Like, bro, it's your talent. They're nothing without you. But see, they have used computers and spirituality to try to change that reality. Keep up with Arthur Sherry. Uh, they have told themselves, well, we can take your voice, we can take your likeness, we can take your ideas. Since we can't get you to sign a contract and sell your soul, don't think we can't take ourselves and make another you, make a you that's more controllable. And to me, that takes the authenticity, the genuineness, what used to make entertainment fun, it takes it out of it, knowing that it's so many people that can just take AI and like you thinking they making a brand new creation the whole time. Which CERN is considered a AI tool, even though the machine, I forgot how big they said it is, but I saw a picture of it. I done watched a million videos about it. It's huge. It takes up a whole land space. One machine. And they say people out here can barely tell what their reality is anymore. They're confused. Just seeing other people live in their realities, they wondering what's going on. Like, bro, did you get stuck in the last portal? And the realities keep shifting. It shifted when Donald Trump became, I'm not saying as a time frame, I'm saying that was an example of a shift right there. Donald Trump became president again. Are you still stuck? You stuck in the last portal? Right? Just like laws change every day. That is affecting your reality. So now we break it down. Remembering your reality outside of every AI invention that comes before us. Because a lot of people believe these AI tools are just straight portals to hell. I didn't say this. I'm repeating what is being conversated in the science streets right now, okay? If I ever heard of portals, I just thought it was some, I don't know, like the most I heard about it, people use mirrors or you see, I don't know much about it, but I believe they're real and that people have found a way to tap in and even call portals to open at will, but they've admitted that they're trying to go back as far as the beginning of time. Is that even possible? The beginning of time would have been when God was saying, let there be everything. They crazy, man. This is what the scientists is trying to this I'm just letting y'all know some of the stuff NASA and them are trying to do right now. They want to travel through time. Like, what are you trying to see? Adam and Eve back there? You trying to see Lilith and all the garden creatures? You want to see what the first animals look like? The fossils and stuff wasn't enough, huh? No, they want to travel through portals and realities and timelines. So it's movies about everything I done spoke on. Have y'all noticed it? There's literally a movie already. Just they call it entertainment, but some of these movies you'd be like, wait a minute, what if they really happened? The reason you ask yourself that is because as you watch the movie, you know a movie is the reality. The actors, that's their reality on the screen. You are in your real reality at home watching a movie. But then your reality begins to shift and you ask yourself, what if this really happened? Like movies like The Purge. A whole bunch of people had asked themselves that, like, this movie's so crazy. What if this really happened? What was I saying? I think it was called, what's that movie called? Tom with Justin Timberlake. I don't even want to use that one for example. I'm trying to describe how stupid and dangerous it sounds. Even if you crack the code and you know how to wake up every morning and travel to the future, you wouldn't be impressing me. I mean, if you want to talk to me about it, I would talk to you about it, but I would just think that's dumb and weird. You would think you're impressing me saying, look, I know how to go to the future, and then we can go rob a bank in the future and bring it here now. I'm asking y'all in the chat, like, would you take the offer? Because you know, most people realities they work basic jobs. They don't have a lot. They barely saving money. If somebody bring a deal and say, "Come on, we got a way. Come on, just come with us. We finna go rob a bank in the future," and I'll be looking at them like, "What? How is that possible?" Well, let's say they want to show me, and they go rob a bank in the future. But wouldn't you have to open up some kind of portal to get there? I mean, come on, bro. Which means you have to do a ritual. You have to do some kind of, even CERN shows you. They just had a recent display that's going viral that people say it looked very satanic and ritualistic. I'm just being honest for entertainment purposes. But this is not just an entertainment topic. This actually happened not that long ago. So people are talking about it. They was wearing the colors red and white. They doing a whole dance just to introduce this machine. Having pictures, it was just it was crazy. So it's seeming to me like the way that people break through these portals, they're doing some type of spiritual sacrifices, bro. And it just don't sound good. Like stealing is stealing, bro. If Moses' Ten Commandments said thou shalt not steal, why would you become a smartass and say, well, technically I'm not stealing if I steal from the future. If I steal from the past, because you learn how to time travel. It's really strange. They call this, by the way, what I'm referring to, metaphysics. Metaphysical research. Because we know astronomical research is studying like the universe and stuff like this, but you got people out here straight up just studying physics. What happens if I push this needle too far into somebody's skin? Well, it's gonna poke them, idiot. The skin is penetratable. That's what they've been doing at CERN though, like making certain atoms and protons and particles collide. And I found that very interesting. They're making light and dark particles collide. Y'all know what collide means? Like smash together. And they keep doing it over and over and over again till they get a certain result that they're looking for. So my question is, when y'all are making these particles and stuff collide, how is that affecting the humans out here? I think when y'all are playing with some of those particles and stuff, some of those particles and bits of atoms and protons are connected to human beings. But I will be back with a part two so I can explain why I think that the things that are going on in CERN, I just want to come and give my open reaction to this trending topic. I think that it's so stupid how people think experiments in the lab don't affect them. You do know they're running those experiments for a reason, right? And like I said, where do they get the energy to power up a machine? This power, like, what do I mean? I know you didn't just plug that up in a wall and it's doing all that. So how much socket of energy? What kind of warehouse? That's why it's way in Switzerland. You got to build a whole special place just to even run it. So where is the, you know how they be saying every winter people be having blackouts or electricity grid issues? Maybe that's why. Y'all too busy over there trying to power up big, huge machines, damn near big as the whole city. One machine. But they say sometimes these protons or something disappear. They know they didn't. Disappear means disappear, y'all. Like vanish. So let me not use that word. they slip off into dark matter pockets. This is so interesting to me. So I know it's something I'm supposed to be learning about this. But they know that they don't disappear because if something disappears, there's no proof of its energy anymore, if that makes sense. Like it's gone, it vanished. It's gone means gone. It's energy not around. It ain't no particles floating around it. How they discovered that some of these protons be disappearing into dark matter when they collide with certain other protons is because it still would show on their little devices or whatever how they measure what's going on in their machine. It would still show the existence of these light protons. But how are they getting sucked into dark matter pockets? And what else did I learn? Even in science knows like they studying it because usually darkness flees when light turn your light on. Watch what darkness do. Just hit the light switch. Dead quick. That's how fast darkness usually disappears when a light come on. Oh, I keep using the wrong word, y'all. So when you turn your light on, doesn't mean darkness disappeared. It didn't technically. Its existence is still there. It's just that you lit up the room. Period. And it's touching me when I study more about these CERN projects, because these CERN experiments, because like they're pretty much proving what people say about spirituality is very real and true. Even with these experiments, that's true. Darkness never really disappears, bro. It don't matter how many lights you turn on. It's an element of matter at this point. It's been here since the beginning of time. That's why they're trying to travel all the way back. What they gonna try to do now? Try to clone darkness? It sounds dangerous. They've already cloned light sources. That's how we have light bulbs. Or for those that might be interested, I'm giving you something to go research. The Nikola Tesla guy, he had some kind of vision to like have the all power source to electricity or something like that, y'all. But it just kind of proves like they're trying to mimic every natural element there is, and it sounds dangerous. They don't care if you're an alien, they want to create one like it, or they'll try to create its mind. That's why they really keep them hold those aliens probably for experiments. You're trying to study its mind. You want to know how it's able to communicate through codes and without moving its mouth. You have no respect for its life, where it comes from, what dimension, what timeline or frequency it's on. You just want to copy its mind and put it in a SIM card, because that's pretty much what phones are, y'all. More people, I'm just a part of that now. Like people that actually care about it. Like where did SIM cards come from? You can put a telescope on stuff like that. SIM card, other little pieces that you think mean nothing, memory cards, USB drives, and get a microscope and just really look off into it. It got 100 million different like lines and stuff on it. It's just crazy. Like people don't care as long as the SIM card help their phone work. Imagine the metals and elements and pieces of matter they have to use to create each and every phone device, each and every technology. I don't know. It just seemed like there's something more definitely going on. And maybe we will get to a time that people remember or learn or just choose to. Uh, will it get to that point? We got a whole disconnect from technology because, as you see, they're building everything to surround it. So even if you wanted to disconnect from it, it would be hard for you to, I guess, challenging for you to still get things done. They already rolling out digital IDs in some countries. If you cannot, it's pretty much like you just pull up your ID on your phone, but it's not just a picture of your ID. They got a new system where long as they scan that barcode in their ID app, they don't need to ask nothing else. It's gonna pull up every information about your life. And these times are already here. Are we ready? Thank you guys for tuning in to another insightful topic here with You Will Make It TV, where we share inspirational topics, quotes, divine messages, and I think insightful topics already. I think I said that. But you guys have a beautiful Tuesday out there. Remember to thank you guys for hitting the like button tonight. Well, this morning, everybody that did, because I got to remind people you are allowed to do that. We don't bite over here. You can hit the like button, you can hit the subscribe bell. That way that you do receive a notification every time we go live. But going into the 2026 year, we are kind of honored and we appreciate the support of the little bit because when you building a pyramid, that's why I was looking at the back of the dollar like I was telling y'all, and how the top of it, even before I knew this, is crazy. Like you learn this as a visionist that your vision might not come together every night, every day. Exactly what I meant to say is overnight, yes. But even before I learned this, like what the symbol was rooted from in the establishment of the country, and them having this motto like, hey, we are forever building. So the pyramid is finished, but we're gonna have the tip of the pyramid kind of disconnected from the rest of it, just to show the symbolism of how saying something is finished is almost like limiting yourself. And they're kind of right about that. I wouldn't care if it was the Illuminati who said it. When you really look at it, that is true about life. When you just sit there and say, I'm finished, well, you don't leave no room for nothing else. So to me, it don't matter how many people try to steal a specific vision or go into the future and steal stuff from people and come back here with nice cars and houses, and we think they successful. The whole time they just been robbing people futures. And it's crazy. In this reality, it would look like money being stole off your car, opportunities being missed, your children being taken away. The whole time in the science world, somebody's been traveling to the future behind the other scientist's back, stealing at your whole house. Your future, you got a mansion, you got plasma TVs in there, flying cars. And it's like they go there and they steal stuff from people, y'all. This is so sad. They even steal from the dead, apparently. So why wouldn't I believe they stealing from people's futures? But I do thank God for the new insight. So I just want to share it with other people. Like, take the time out, look at your life. You got temporary solutions and you have long-term ones. And you got to turn into a whole nother person to protect your future in the present and to protect your past too. Like, what kind of beings do we have to become? There's no privacy in your future no more. It used to be called, that's what holding a vision is about. You're not telling every single detail of the vision. When the vision comes from the Most High God, the Bible said it's going to tarry. Like, you can actually expect that people are going to attack it. It happened to Noah and every other man, woman of God. That's why I didn't understand why people like, yeah, if you're going through so many struggles, you ain't of God. I just want to laugh in the face of misunderstanding, miscommunication, misinterpretation. Because did people forget everybody that was really working for God in the Bible? Oh yeah, they went through stuff. But y'all out here teaching people if you have signs of what evil chasing you, there's no way you're divine. When that's a whole clear indication. Do not be deceived, ladies and gentlemen. Especially when It don't matter who you get, the military, the police, to tell people to stop, they still can't stop coming for you. I would say that's pretty spiritual, or there's something scientific about it. What do you got to do? Give them a shot, some medicine so they can leave you alone? They got to be on pills. Look at how people are becoming. You got to be on some kind of pill to leave somebody alone. Well, people are a little too connected. They're too reliant on the next person's energy, and we not even in the future yet. But that movie I was talking about with Justin Timberlake, I think it is called End of Time. People weren't using money anymore. Time was your new currency. Everybody would start out, and you only earned time if you went to work. If the time ran out on your watch, you just dropped down and died. That's a movie y'all should go check out. I forgot. It's either called Time or End of Time or Running Out of Time. It's called something like that. But if you type in Justin Timberlake, you can probably find it. And that movie haven't left my conscious to this day because that's another crazy one. I'm like, that could really happen. But what would happen to cause something like that? Like people don't use money anymore, debit cards. Their money is literally their time. If you look at reality, it's already like that. You know the quote they say time is money? Maybe they wrong to something. They be like, my time is my money. So they don't waste their time with just anything. They know that going outside to play with you at the club is playing with their time. Is somebody paying them at the club? Come on now. You just go to the club because your friend asked you to go. You done got robbed, plus you in jail when you didn't have to go at all. That means time is money, like they said. But in this movie, time really was money. And if you ran out of time because you didn't have no job to go make you some time money, uh, your body just dropped dead in that movie. Like you would just vanish. Like so it made me think about CERN. And are these times coming? The only way I think even in that movie you could swap time with people. People were trying to rob each other of their watches because if they could rob you of your watch, they now have your time. You feel me? Very, very symbolic thriller, psychological thriller, whatever you want to call it. And shout out to you, Justin Timberlake, for that very uh, thought provoking film, you know, because if you just living your life like, "Oh, I can do whatever, you don't understand till you understand you have wasted time. If you can't go back just a year, just a year of 2025 and ask yourself, what did I do all year? And you don't feel bad about what you did with your time, well, that's you. You should be able to bring up things you did with your time that made you proud, that made you happy, that make you feel secure about yourself, even if you stayed in a shelter for the whole year 2025. Like, what did you do with your time there? Because that movie, your time was your money. You go waste it on some friends if you want to. Most people in that movie use their time to go to work so they could earn more time. Time was the currency in that movie. So it's like you didn't have no people sitting at home on the couch. In the movie, his mom did because she was like a sickly lady. So he worked extra actually. He had to work for time for his mother and time for him, just so they can both have some money. Because in that movie, time was your currency, like I said. So if that was his position with a sick mother that he was taking care of, what about the other people in the movie who had like kids or, even the kids, they somehow, I think the kids in the movie, they just got free time, but that don't mean that was a good thing. Like a lot of the kids in the movie was getting robbed of their watches, killed, robbed, kidnapped, just so people could have more time. It really, what I'm trying to say, it didn't change much. It made society worse in that movie because now crime did not stop. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time.